This is going to be my mods video for 2025, and the thing that was most requested about my last mod video is that there wasn't any bulk download. Well, I finally got something for you guys. Also, shoutouts to Ali, Squeeze, and Chloe. They had nothing to do with this. But if I switch my screens right over here, as you can see, I got my own website over here. Kinda. Shoutouts to Summer for this, by the way. But she was able to provide me my own link, and I can use this to give you guys the bulk downloads for my mods and for my mod CFGs. And the coolest thing about this is that it tells you exactly where to put them. But for the mods that are the T mods over here, just copy this file path over here, and it looks like it crashed, but just open up your file explorer and paste it at the top, and just like that, it takes you to your mods folder. And when you do download the mods, you can just drag everything into here. If for whatever reason you don't have this folder, then just go back one, go to the live section, and then just create mods, spelled exactly like it is, and capitalization. Next is the CFGs, so we have this file path over here. Go ahead and copy and paste it. If you are new and you don't have this folder, then what you want to do is go back one, go to Trove, so just copy up until the Trove section, and just create this folder, capitalizations, everything exactly how it is, and then you can throw in all of these CFGs from this zip file into here. And if you guys are looking for just one specific mod, you can probably find it in here somewhere. So this will be all of my mods. If you do want Summer's, hers doesn't conflict. You can also download them in bulk, the mods and the CFGs, all of these mods over here. Some of them are a little bit different than mine, but if you do want to try it out, have none of them conflicting, then you can give that a try. Also, can we just talk about how insane this is, having a actual club website? So this is it for Lazaria. If you do want to join the Discord, I'll leave a link to all of this in the description down below. But you can join the Discord from here. There's helpful links, like we have all of this. Shoutouts to Summer for putting my stuff on here, but Summer has some amazing stuff here, so check out her spreadsheets and whatnot. And the other thing I want to mention is this renewed Trove tools. Now, this is just from the website. It has a lot of handy stuff, but I personally downloaded it, so you can just do this, get Windows application, and it'll look something like this. You have the option to log in through Discord or Trovosaurus. I just did Trovosaurus. You have all of this handy information. You have so much stuff here, so much info that you can use, like gem build, star chart. Like, this is interactable. You can just choose your path however you want. But anyway, that's the homepage. If you know how to do mod stuff, then you can just upload your stuff here. But mod manager, so these are going to be your mods. If you just go over here to my mods at the top, you can see all of them. You can just hover over stuff to see like what it's exactly doing, like the numbers. This is the mod version. If you don't like one, just click on it, it'll disable it. You have the option to disable it here as well. Adding to profile, I haven't messed with this yet, but what I imagine this does is that you can have one name, so I'll just say Ashley. So under Ashley, you can have specific mods dedicated to just that profile, and then you can create a different profile for different mods if you want to do that. So it kind of just separates it. I don't know if that's exactly what it does, but that's what I would imagine. And gotta love crashing. Anyway, so this is for the Glyph Launcher, and this is for Steam. I know Steam launches a Glyph Launcher, but it's not the same, so keep that in mind. If you go over here to Steam, I don't have any mods, but you can just click this folder icon. It'll open up a new one, and this is going to be the area for your Steam stuff if you want to do mods. And if you don't have this folder, just create it, and then you can just add stuff in here. And the same is true for the Glyph Launcher. So just click on the folder and it'll take you to the same spot, different file path for the Glyph Launcher, and you can do mods as well. A couple other things to note is that you can click on this settings cogwheel. There's some stuff you can check. If you do download this, if you open up your file explorer and just go to your CFGs, it might add a bunch of mods in there that don't really have a CFG. So if you go to the Trovosaurus website, for example, you can just click on a random mod. I typed in redesigned, I clicked search. GeoFlay makes some amazing mods, so if you do want some of his, you can just click on it. I tried the install button, but it doesn't really work for me, but you can just click on that and it'll take you to Trovosaurus. And over here, you can see that there's a Tmod and a CFG. Tmod lets you download it. CFG, you have to enable it to download. It's gonna say unverified something. You just have to allow it pretty much. And just make sure the Tmods go to the appropriate mods folder and the CFG goes to the appropriate folder. You can just refer to this if you're stuck. And I highly recommend pinning this in your file explorer like I have over here. And if you do want to pin it, I believe you just right click and do pin to quick access, so it'll be at the top area. That's what it is for me. So I recommend doing that for mods and mod CFG, just so you don't have to go hunting for all of that. And just a cool little trick you can do if you're trying to deal with two file explorer tabs is that you can just do Control+N. It'll open up another file explorer, and if you downloaded something, you can go into your downloads and then just drag and drop it into whatever you want, in case you find that handy. Either way, that's all that stuff. If you go back to my mods, there's an option to update the mods. I'm pretty sure it's linked to Trovosaurus, so if there is one, you can update it there. I haven't really tried that out yet, but I am kind of curious on how that exactly works. There's a lot of handy information. If you do want my loading screen background, just let me know in the comments down below and I can add that to the website. But pretty much what it does is it has the initial CashinClean when you start up Trove. If you just go into a different world, it just randomly picks one of the pictures that I put up. So that one was of Sarah, and then if we just swap around. This is from the anime, I forgot the name, but it's I don't want to spoil it, but I always forget the name for that one. It wasn't too bad of an anime, but either way, you guys get the point. And as far as downloading Trove from the Glyph website, I will link that in the description down below as well. And I'm pretty sure that's everything, so now I'm just gonna go over all of my mods. So if you don't want to watch this section and you just want to go ahead and go through all of my mods from the website, then go for it. But if you're curious on what each thing does, then stay tuned. I'll just kind of go in order here. So better collections, that's just going to be this if you press Y. And I'm just going to refer to PC stuff because this isn't out on console. You can't get it on console, unfortunately. But it just makes it look like this. It's dark themed. It's pretty cool. Plus select, it's just dark themed. It's pretty nice. I like it. Looks very clean. Over here we got the inventory, obscure UI inventory. All of this is by Crit, by the way. He makes some amazing mods as well if you do want to check out his stuff. But the cool thing about this is that it gets rid of the 3 tabs from the bottom, so it creates it into one giant thing. If you don't have all of your inventory slots unlocked, it's gonna look something like this. So you'd have to unlock this section, then this section, and you get the point. And it's gonna be the same thing with the build stuff and the geode stuff. Going over to mod manager, this one just makes it dark theme pretty much. It just looks exactly like this, if you think that's cool, if you go to mods. So I personally like it. Next up, we got the mod manager. This one kind of conflicts with my unliked worlds, so I just have that one disabled. I don't think it'll work if they're both enabled, but if you're not sure what this does, if you press the left bracket, I don't know if you even have that on your keyboard, but it's next to my P key. Pretty much you just open up your liked worlds, and then there's this over here for settings. And for your obscure UI mods, I have the loot collector one over here so I can edit it. And if you do have my CFG, you're gonna have all of these settings as is. If you don't like something, you can just change it. Like I have stuff hidden in the loot collector, so if you don't like any of the stuff that's hidden, then feel free to just remove it because I have a bunch of stuff on here. And if you're unsure about certain stuff, like you can just hover over it. So this is for the gem rarity. I just have it so it opens up these sellers. I can just loot collect that, and then for crystals, it just locks it. And similar stuff for the gear over here, you can just refer to the numbers, and you can kind of just do trial and error stuff. So you can just change the number, click save a bunch of times. It doesn't really notify you if it saves, but just press it a couple times, then just try whatever. If this is the first time you're using this loot collector mod, I'll get into that when I get to that portion of the mod, but make sure Trove is closed when you're getting all of these CFGs and the T mods. For most of the mods it doesn't matter, but for some of them you do want to have Trove closed. And for this loot collector one, for example, have Trove closed to get the mods. You want to open up the loot collector a couple times, just loot collect something, doesn't really matter. And then after you do that a couple times, then you can go into this and do whatever you want. It should come with my CFG stuff though. And I guess that was the next thing on the list. So superior loot collector, it was pretty much as you saw. Looks like this. I have stuff hidden, so just know that you can edit it from the CFG with the bracket going into settings. Next we got the dot crosshair. There is another one by Geoflay with this one, but this is the one I have. I usually don't notice it when I'm actually playing, but when I'm physically looking at it and paying attention to it right now, I see it. I've had this since I started Trove, so I don't know. If you don't like it, you don't have to have it, but that's just what I use. Next, we got Angel Pyrodisc. If you do have the Pyrodisc gem, which I do not have it on Boomeranger, but whenever you kill an enemy, there's going to be a red ring around you. This just makes it so it's clear, easy to see, less VFX, stuff like that. Easier on the eyes, as it says there. Now, auto accept invite LLF. This mod exists on Trovosaurus, but a lot of people kind of get the updated version, if that makes sense. The one I have is the older version, and that's the one you want. You could use the newer one, but it's kind of confusing. I personally don't understand it. So that's why I have this version over here. And what you want to do is press the other bracket, so the closing bracket, and it's going to open up this menu over here. If you have my CFG, it's going to put in all of my info, so everything that I've checked. So you can kind of go through and check which ones you want auto accepted. Like it's pretty self-explanatory on which one's which. They have like a ton of stuff. Like they even have something for a bunch of lost connection to game servers. Just in case you want to go back to your cornerstones, you have that, and then back to the auto accept. If you change something, you can click save. This is just for the general stuff, and I guess you have this in Chinese, but I don't speak Chinese. And if you click on this middle one, list auto, this is going to be for friends, friend requests, all that stuff, marketplace, and whatever it says there. So to get a better understanding of this, so invited join world, you can do auto accept, put in the person's name, and if it's not that person, this is what it's going to have you do. So for example, if you guys had Ashley Trash in this box over here, and you had the auto accept checked, just make sure you hit save and stuff like that, obviously. Then if you get an invite from me, it's going to auto accept that invite, so you're going to go wherever I am. And if you get invited to something that's not from me, then you can choose whatever it does. So you can have auto reject, so it rejects everything from other people. You can have auto accept if you just want everything to be accepted, or game default where it just asks you yes or no if you want to be invited. So I don't have anybody's name on here, so it's not going to auto accept me anywhere. And if you do want to add multiple people, as it says here, just add a plus. I believe there's no space. You can do Ashley_trash, put a plus, and then the next person's name. I just double checked, you don't need a space. And you have other things in here as well. And then custom list, you have stuff here. So Constellation, I'm pretty sure that's the stuff from the store. And then this is if you purchase stuff from the store. I don't know if there's extra stuff you can add. This is a little bit outside of like my knowledge, but you can have it set to auto accept, game default, whatever it is. Just make sure you're clicking save. And if you don't have the CFG, then you're not going to be able to save or do anything. Next, we got the auto easy happy UI. That's pretty much this. I have it set to dark themed. You can customize it if you have the CFG. Looks exactly like this. Pretty cool stuff. Next, we got the IU compass. So that's going to be this stuff up here. And then we have, this is the wave number. This is going to be for ships or 5 stars in D1314. So the ships and the towers. I believe this is also for delves. So all of the room numbers and stuff at the top over here. It might be a little bit confusing when you first use it, but right now I'm in spawn, so it's highlighted yellow up there. If I go to room 1, you can see that it's highlighted in yellow over here for 1 because I'm in room 1. And if there's other people, you're going to see white dots in whatever room that they're in. And if you do clear a room, it's going to show up green like it does for spawn over here. And a cool thing that it comes with is how fast you're going. So the speedometer over here. So if I move around, if you don't have that, it's because you need a setting checked. You have to go over here to miscellaneous and then show player location and then hit save. Just in case, you can just relog. Just close the game, reopen. Next, we got IUESP. This is going to be my boss mod and curse school mod. If you're in a delve, sometimes you'll see something like this, but just ignore that. It doesn't work in the lower difficulties, but if we go to like D9, the curse skulls are going to show up in blue. I guess you could do this with Shadowhunter, but as you can see, I started it, but kind of complicated. If they're red, that's going to be a boss. You can just do that, and the chest shows up as that as well. IU hotbar, pretty self-explanatory, just this hotbar. I do get asked about this a lot. It is a pretty cool mod. Bamboo waypoint, you don't have to worry about. This is for the bamboo event from last year, and the bamboo event was the Lunar New Year event, which is pretty much what we have for this dragon, the new one, and they did not bring the bamboo back, so it was just like a little waypoint mod. You don't really need it. You actually don't need it at all. I don't know why I have it. Better sky, just makes the sky better. I guess there isn't really much to say about that one. Pretty sure it's outdated. You don't have to use that one. Next, we got the clams damage reflector warning. It'll just basically show a clam like this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a chance you haven't been to D15 or in the new depths delve, but I'll show you real quick. So you're mainly going to find them in a 5-star dungeon or if you do the depths delve, but I'll just start this real quick. I'll see if I can find a clam. So here we have a clam. This is just what he is. Sometimes there are friendly clams. At least that's what I like to think. Oh, there it is. So that's what it looks like. So whenever he has that, you don't want to shoot. Sometimes they don't one-shot you, which is the idea of these things. Also, just to get things into perspective, I have 11.8k lights. I don't have any auto use spot. I'm doing like no damage to this thing. We got 12 point. We got a little bit more with Boom Ranger. Looks like my Berserk Battler activated. Throw some chickens, all that stuff. I can start doing damage. It's pretty terrible in here. I'm just gonna leave that 5-star. Next, we got the clock plus. That's just gonna be this clock over here. So this is my current time. It is 11:20 p.m. and I believe it works off of your time zones. So if you play the game, it goes based off of your clock, and then it also has your dungeons per hour and then how long you've been in the world. And this does come with a CFG, so you can do some customizations. Crystal VFX, no tooltip. I don't know. I was told to get it, so that's why I have it, to be honest. Next, we got custom quick marketplace. This does come with a CFG, so if you go to the marketplace, you can customize things a little bit. But yeah, buy, you have sell. I'm not going to go into the sells tab because we got some super secret stuff. It's really not that secret. But either way, I personally like this design. I also recommend you guys have sort by unit price and always have that checked. And the cool thing about this is that if there's an item that you do want to see, you can just have it over here by clicking on this right over here. So Primal Purple shows up there. If I right click it, it's gone. And then if I left click it, then you can see, wait, 6 mil. Customized VFX buff for Arcane and Martial Emblem. That's basically what it's going to look like. I have the martial emblems, so if I do this, it's going to be yellow. The other one for magic damage is going to be blue, the arcane emblem. DPS display, it's going to come with this hit marker thing over here, and then the damage numbers. So I'll just hit an enemy over here. So all the damage numbers are over here. Easy to see biomes, nothing too much to say here. Also, I'm pretty sure if you guys have seen me do the depths delve, my delves look a little bit different to some people. I'm pretty sure this is the mod that's kind of changing the scenery a little bit. Easy to see critters. If you go into the geode caves, you can just see it from the picture. The outer ring is easier to see. Easy to see occupied ally habitats. It's going to show you an arrow for the ones that you can claim. Looks like this place has a common one, so I can show you guys. Yo, SpongeBob. So if we go over here, you can see that there is an arrow over here, so you can just claim them, see which ones you can claim. Egg finder, I don't want to go through the geode caves, but it's going to have the same effect as this. The egg is just going to be glowing so you can see it through walls and stuff. Exodave small map, there is another map mod where you can actually have it on screen and just have it there while farming. This is the one that I have, it just goes off to the side. I believe it also comes with the CFG. Easy to see watering does exactly that. If you water it, it shows you which sections got watered. I do wish that it did stay, like that blue effect, but it does go away. Modified health meter, shoutouts to Abby. If we fight something boss worthy, you can see that it shows up there. That's going to be the health, your DPS, the average DPS, and then the time it takes you. So that's going to be over here. And it shows you a lot of cool information actually. So very good stuff. Now, this friends list mod is pretty much the same as the friends list mod that I put in on the website. So if I open up my friends list over here, it's the same thing as the IU friends mod. If you have that, you can heart people to have them at the top over here. And then you have this option over here to add them to a quick list, the little lightning bolts. And the cool thing about this is that you can kind of customize the colors. And usually if I'm hosting 5-star farms, what I do is if I just add those people, they're just going to show up there. If there's special people in this 5-star farm that, I don't know, maybe they have to pay you or whatever the case may be. I know some hosts do this, but you can have them be a different color. So we can do this. So those people will show up that color. You can switch to those colors and have that showing. And if you're trying to invite all of them, you just right click on these and it's going to invite all of them. So you don't have to invite one by one. This is invite, this is the join. And if you do want to remove all of them all at once, just press the X, and same with the blue. And if we go over here, they're all gone. If you do want to message somebody, just click on their name, left click, and you can type in whatever you want to them. And if you do want to remove a friend, just right click and it'll tell you. If you do have auto accept for this, it will just do it automatically, but you have the option to just delete them that way. And the cool thing about this is you can actually search for people. If you do have a ton of people added, sometimes if you search for somebody's name, it's not going to show up. And to fix that, all you have to do is reopen this and search their name again. Here we have the Pinata Invader Beams. This was from something a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it still works for invaders. So the invaders that spawn from the sky, I'm pretty sure they still have that beam. I honestly just don't even pay attention to it. I don't even think you need this mod, but I believe anything invader-like, it adds the beam to, so maybe you can keep it. I don't know. I have it, so why not? Redesigned effect viewer, so we're gonna get into all the geoflay stuff. We're getting close to the end here. If we open up our character sheet mod, we have the effects over here. So it tells you what buffs you have active and all that stuff. You can choose to get rid of them if you did have like a potion buff or something, for example. Info, this is one that a lot of people want my CFG for. So it does come with a CFG. By default, it's going to look a little bit different, but I can kind of show you guys an example. I'll just kind of do a bunch of things. So if we look on the right over there, you can see that I have a bunch of stuff here. The difference that I have with mine is that I updated it to work with the Gear Crafter boxes and the Runic Trunk boxes, as well as some other resources like Souls of the Depths and stuff like that. And I just made them into different colors. You can edit them in a certain way. You just have to go to the CFG file, just close Trove, open the CFG. I just use Notepad, but I adjusted the position, the size, and all that stuff. Redesigned leaderboard, that's just gonna be this. The cool thing about this is that you can actually search for somebody's name. So I don't know, we can just type in this player's name over here, hit search, and we can find Squeeze that way. It's gonna tell you where they are rank wise for whatever category that you're on. So Squeeze is rank 1. If we go to rank 1, we can just find them that way. Redesigned lockbox, that's just gonna be your boxes. So if we open one, it's gonna look something like this. You can open it one at a time, you can open it to go fast, or if you click fast, it's gonna open up all your boxes fast, and it's gonna ignore if your inventory is full. So don't do that with gems, by the way, because even if you quickly close out of it, your gems are just all gonna be there. It's kind of funny if you do it with like Gear Crafter vaults, if you have like a stack of those. Because if you don't have the inventory space, you're just gonna see all of your gear pile up on the ground, and from there you just want to keep on loot collecting, pick up the stuff from the ground, and just kind of rinse and repeat until you have everything kind of situated there. But it is pretty cool because it shows you like what you get from the boxes. So from one box I got that, from one box I got that. Pretty cool mod. Redesigned settings, I believe if you just go to settings, it's just going to be this stuff over here, so everything is dark themed. As for the mod settings over here, I don't know if that's part of the settings one or if that's from this one. I actually have no idea. It might be this, but who knows. Maybe one of you guys know. Next up we got subclass. That's pretty self-explanatory. Go to subclass, your menu just looks like this. And the cool thing is that it tells you what it does on the bottom. So when you level up the class, it'll just be the thing on the left there. And if we go to Knight, for example, it'll tell you that you gain a movement speed when you're on mounts. And there's even something else there. At low health, you gain a damage reduction shield for a short time. I actually did not know that, but now we do with the help of this mod. Would be cool if it told you like the increments of like the power rank. So if you get to a certain power rank, then it tells you like the changes and stuff that it gives you. Because I believe these subclasses cap at 35k power rank, if I'm not mistaken. The power rank only affects the bottom stuff that you read down there. The levels affect the stuff on the left here. Wait, what's going on over here? I guess we got a little CashinClean fan meetup. Title selector, that's gonna be from your character sheet, just titles. Also, if you do want to change the color of your name, you do it from here. So just click on this, you can change the color. I'm gonna stick with orange because that's just what I always do. But all your title stuff, prefix, suffix, all that stuff is there. Tooltip, this one's actually pretty cool for your gems. So if I hover over my gem, you can see at the top with my power rank 2830, you can see that it's 100%. I fully augmented it. And if you are farming gems, I guess I got a crystal, that's pretty lucky. But you can see that it shows 54% at level 1. If I leveled this to 15, if I hover over it, you can see that I'm at 62%, which is actually pretty good. I actually got some good boosts into this one. So 62%, so not as much augmenting needed compared to other gems. Remove obstruction VFX. If you're trying to get the chicken ally, the feathered pledge, this thing over here, when you defeat a dungeon, it'll have like an exclamation point above its head. If you have this, it gets rid of that. At least that's what it was like for me. I didn't see an exclamation point like others say they did. So this removes it, removes a decent amount of VFX. Like if I throw my bomb, for example, it's pretty clear. Smart fishing pole. This is like a must-have. If you don't have this, or if you don't have the IU version of this, then like you really need this. If we go to the water, you can see some fish pools around here. You have a number associated with them. If you see a number that's 4 or less, like 3 or 4, that means it's guaranteed to be rare. Although it could also be a troll, because some people could also just fish a little bit and leave it at 3 or 4 and troll a little bit. And sometimes it'll tell you that it's at 3 or 4, but if you fish there, you might get an uncommon. There's a little trick, I guess. You can just kind of look away, look back, see if the number changes, and you can do the same thing again. Sometimes the numbers change multiple times. It's kind of weird in that way, but I don't know. Either way, rare fish pools 4 or 3, and the rest is just going to be random. And if you did have the IU version, if you had a rare fish pool, it would be shown in red. If it's just a regular fish pool, it would show it in blue. It's been a while since I've used that mod, but I'm pretty sure that's how it worked. Next up, we got the Squeeze player HUD. Shoutouts to Squeeze. His mod for this is very clean and customizable. Comes with a CFG, and if it's your first time using the mod, it's going to have you go through like a little tutorial. I got stuck on this for a little bit, but pretty much you just want to click on this, it opens up all of this stuff. Then it's going to have you click on text, just like click on some stuff here without that. You can have colors, you can kind of do whatever you want, mess around. I'm holding Alt to have this little mouse option here. You can get like custom colors and stuff like that. And if you hover over it, this is for primary. If you look on the bottom, this is primary, this is secondary, this is background. Just mess around with it, see what you like. If you don't want to hold Alt, you can just press Escape. If you want to leave this, just click on this again. If you don't like what you did, just press Defaults. And if you do like what you did, just press Apply and Save. There's like a bunch of things you can do. Like this turns off the sigil. So if I do Apply, as you can see, my sigil is gone, but my powering shows up there. I can just turn all of that off and just have that just numbers. Hit save right there. It seems kind of off doing it that way, but you could do it that way. And you just click in the general area to get the stuff back and just do apply and save. There you go. But yeah, it's a pretty cool mod. I like the font, everything about that. All right, we're getting close to the end. Starbar, week bonus display. A lot of people ask me about this. It's going to be this on the upper right and just everything shown in the picture there. It'll show you when stuff is going to happen. Tainted Star waypoint. This was from an event and I don't know if they actually brought it back last year. So I guess you don't really need this, but I still have it for some reason. Pink monolith. This is exactly what it says it is. If you do delves, one of the objectives is monoliths and it'll just have a pink box just in case if you need it. The more you play the game, you're just going to know that it's in every third room. And it also does it to spawn if you're in the adventure worlds. Symbols chat mod and the club tag, they kind of go hand in hand with each other. So the chat mod, this is like a must-have mod. You can do emotes. You can just click on this and just see all the different types of emotes that are on here. You can search for one, so just in case you don't know how to type it in, you can do pog, and then I don't know if you wanted pog u, for example, that's how you would spell it in chat. There's also some Pokemon emotes. So if you do PK and then you have these options, you scroll around. If you want the generic ones, you can click on the smiley, and there's a few different tabs for this as well on the bottom. The cool thing about this is that if you whisper somebody, it's going to have separate tabs, so you can just open them up that way, close them if you want to, and it is customizable. So if you get my CFG, I believe it customizes the chat with my colors. So the symbols chat mod, kind of weird that my stuff is in different colors. I don't know why it's like that. If you do want to change the club colors, it's either message or author, but I think it's message. I believe these are just the hex color codes, so just enter in that. I'm like 99% sure you have to add in a 0x and then whatever you want, and I believe all of the other stuff just has to be 0. And whenever you get whatever you want there, you just click save, and depending on the order you have your clubs in. Shadow gating I have set to yellow. I don't know why the color here is different than what it actually says. I don't know how to fix that, or if that's even fixable, because Lazer is also just purple. But yeah, hopefully you guys are able to change the colors. I know I remember I struggled a ton with that. Hopefully that bit of info helps. Just adding a 0 to the other stuff that you're not using, and then the 0x, and then the hex color thing over here. There is other options you can check or have it unchecked. You can just kind of click on the person's name with left click and it'll show you their Twitch. I applied for this like back in 2019, 2020, and I got it directly from Symbol, the mod maker himself, and I do not know who edits the mod anymore. It's not on Trovosaurus. I guess there is like an edited version of it, but this last one was edited by Axo or maybe Squeeze. I really don't know. And as for the club tags, we can just kind of go over to this person's name, and that's the club tag over here. And some people might just not have it. By default, it's gonna look like that. And for the ones that do, you can see like a cool little tag right there. So that's just if they happen to submit a club tag, like a little image like that, to the mod maker. Chat mod and the club tag mod isn't getting updated, so everything you see now is as is. I don't know if in the future it'll get updated, but for now that's just how it is. Unlike Worlds, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you open up your like worlds, you can just unlike it, but mine's different and I also have it disabled. And to even like a world, you have to go to a club world and just press E to give props. And you can see here that it has Lazeria. I can just join it from here. I don't know what the X does. I believe that deletes it, but I don't know. All right, the final three. So weekly bonus time list, that's just going to be this F1 menu over here. Just click learn more. It tells you what the next week is going to be. Kind of goes hand in hand with this one, but for whatever reason on Sundays it's bugged, because right now it's still XP week. It's Sunday. It's about to change into the reset. So when it does change into the reset, it's going to be second stat reroll. So right now it should be on bonus XP week, but it's not doing that, so just take note that on Sundays it bugs out sometimes. And then the last two I have here is the big bombs, which is going to be a master ball, and then the actual bombs, which is a pokeball. But if you do have this mod enabled, it'll get rid of that VFX, so that's why mine's disabled and shows up as a regular one. But if you got rid of that mod, it'll show up as a pokeball, and the big bombs, you can see it looks like the master ball from Pokemon. And it took me a while to go through that list, so hopefully that helped. Hopefully you like the mods. Maybe in the future I can just get rid of some, because I feel like I have a little too much. Maybe some of them I don't need, but I don't know. Either way, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you find yourself coming back. I do appreciate you guys watching the content. I'll be sure to give you guys more tutorials, tips, guides, stuff like that. But either way, on that note, I'll see you all later.